Hi, my name is Ric WOR. I am the president and CEO of Wings of Rescue. I'm 65 years old, and my career started back in the music industry, where I was and still am a record producer, songwriter, and at one point I was a performer. And I was fortunate enough to sell 29 million records working with bands such as Poison, Joan Jett, Faster Pussycat, and Ted Nugent, doing hair metal bands during the heyday of American music in the 80s and 90s. Then I started writing books, and I was very fortunate to have my first novel, Wand and Feed the Dog, made into a movie starring Selena Gomez. But in about 2005, I woke up one day and decided that I had never done anything in my life that really made the world any better. And that's when I went into animal rescue. I lived near some very unfortunate shelter situations where they were killing 100 dogs a day. And I thought maybe I could use my marketing skills to increase the live adoption rate. And I went into volunteering at a shelter every day, and it just took over my life. And that transformed into joining an outfit called Wings of Rescue in 2013. And since I've joined Wings of Rescue and I became president in 2017, we have saved over 35,000 pets, flying them from disaster areas and overcrowded shelters to shelters where there's empty kennel space and where no local shelter pets are displaced by our flights. And we've responded to a lot of disasters: earthquakes in Puerto Rico earlier this year, wildfires in California, flooding in Tulsa, Oklahoma, hurricanes like Maria, Irma, Dorian, Harvey, Michelle, Florence. We've gone to all these hurricanes, and when we go into a hurricane disaster, we end up bringing in humanitarian supplies and then going out with pets, dogs, and cats from the disaster areas and taking them to safety. And I'm very proud of the fact that we've delivered over 400,000 pounds of humanitarian aid in just hurricanes Maria and Dorian combined. Now, the COVID world is changing animal rescue and everything about our lives. We have to adopt protocols providing for safety, not just for the pets who are our precious cargo, but for the humans that come out as volunteers and as shelter employees. So we now are wearing masks and gloves and keeping correct social distancing, things that we never did before, because our transports had always been very joyous occasions where there was a lot of hugging and handshakes and just a lot of happiness and people getting together for a job well done, because there's nothing like the satisfaction of knowing that you just flew a plane with 150 pets who would have died if you hadn't have flown them to safety and loving homes, because the average length of stay for a pet transported by Wings of Rescue is only 3.5 days. So we've had to design a whole bunch of new sets of protocols that are going to somewhat lower the interaction among all of us, but at the same time, we're going to get our job done. What the world's going to look like, we don't know exactly. During the time that COVID forced everybody to shut down operations, we transformed into working with our partners at thegreatergood.org to promote a program called Stay Home and Foster, and it's been hugely successful. Over 60,000 pets have gone into foster, and the funny thing is that already half of those pets that went into foster have become foster failures, and these pets were adopted. But the world, as we go ahead, there's going to be massive unemployment across the country and across the world, and we don't know if people are going to lose their homes and be forced to turn in their pets, or whether this is going to be the new norm of people just like staying home with their pets and just loving them, and which would be just awesome, because like any charity, my goal is to go out of business. Going out of business would mean that there'd be no pets facing euthanasia in a shelter anywhere in North America, and that would just be the best thing in the world. But we may discover, and we don't know, that people are turning in pets, and they're turning pets in different places that we did not previously expect. Right now, most of our flights go from the south to the north, because the south doesn't tend to practice spay-neuter as well as the northern states do. So maybe that will change. I don't think it will. I think that we're going to be seeing much the same for the next few years, and we may turn out to be busier than ever, because it's going to be a lot harder to do land transports because you're not going to want to drive through places where there may be infected pockets and expose your personnel to COVID-19. So Wings of Rescue is going to be there. We're going to, last year we flew over 100 flights. This year we'll probably fly 70 to 80 flights. We've already done 30 in the first 3 months of the year. And we'll just keep going as long as we're needed and trying to make the world better one pet at a time.